はい、パンパイア続きやっていきます。商品で取り扱う商品の価格はその地域の健康状態っていうことは、カオス度が上がってると高くなるのかな、もしかして。この下へずっと残るんですかね、この隠れ家に。あんまり気分がいいもんじゃないよね。さあ今メインミッション中ですね。船着き場から血の痕跡を追えということでやっております。じゃあやっていきましょう。これ何のマークこれ。隠れ家か。この赤くなってるとこは入れるんですかね。チャプター1。地元の調査。OK。それじゃあやっていきましょう。あ、ちょっと待って。2目標とかないね。じゃあ出よう。でん。こいつらを二度とここで見ることはないだろう。あれ？敵復活してねえか、これ。あら。マジであの辺のやつやったはずなんですけど、俺。マジか。多分あそこ襲ったら来るよね、絶対ね。あいつ、ブラッドに耐性があるやつはいないか。あ、下のやつも湧いてる。でもほとんど経験値入らないですね。これロックオンできてんのかこれ。ほとんど入らない経験値。全然入らない。あいつ近接。 なんだろうこの微妙な戦闘。敵倒しても経験値は入らないってことね。じゃあやっぱり市民を食事するしかないのか。これを終えと言われておりますが、北の港安定状態。新しい場所発見したらちょっと入った。経験値5入った。あそこになんかある。
It's locked, all right.
ジャンプとかできないんですよね。上に登れないですね。こっち行くしかない。上には登れないね。
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
君のあ、ビショップの声が聞こえる。喉が渇いて仕方がねえ。あれやばい、襲われるんじゃない。ビショップが襲おうとしてるんじゃない、もしかして。あ、誰かいるわ。何してんだろう。見えない。君を傷つけることなんてできないって言ってますね。あ、武器じゃないこれ。新しい。中古の鎌。Y を押すとその武器の特殊能力を使います。鎌は相手の攻撃に対してタイミングが合うと大きなスタンダメージを与える。パリーが行います。マジで。両手武器はオフハンドで使えないってことね。なるほど。お、強いな、カマ。パリ。オッケー。ここは入れない。
I cannot enter. This place reeks of bloodshed.
Let go of me.
ビショップと対峙する。
Oh my God, William. I can't stand it anymore.
死体だらけ。
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
パリできない。 ったっていいの？あれパリできない。パリできないですね。ちょっと待って、死ぬ。あれ回復させて。だパリできなかった。やべ、死ぬ。パリのタイミングわかんねえ。全然やばい。あら死ぬわ。やべえ、パリ全然できない。避けたやん今。でこれが一番安定やな。なんか警棒もらった。あれ倒してよかったのこいつ。犠牲者を調べる。ちょっと待って、何もないね。大丈夫。
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by scowl?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders.
調べさせ
Patience, good
て
fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed this drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
OK。ウィリアムの死体から血液サンプルを採取。うん、それも大事やけど、周りに何かあるかもしれんやろ。箱があったほら。箱が本当分かりづらい。このゲーム。なんかマネキンみたいですね。あんまりリアルじゃないね、死体が。
It's locked.
お金。こういう箱って壊せる？これ壊せる？上上がれる？上上がれない。何拾った？武器。なんか棍棒みたいなの拾ったよ。中心人物なんだこいつ。なんかロックされてますね。港。中古警棒。頭蓋骨、頭蓋と骨を砕く目的で端を金属で強化された木の棒。レベル5まで強化できる。これレベル2までですからね、これ。使いづらいわ、パリ。やりづらい。で
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
ボートに乗れ。調べられない。小さな試験管に入ったウィリアム・ビショップの新鮮な血液サンプル。はい。何もないね。
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
No, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it. I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
カメラ動かせたわ。今気づいた。
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea,
Welcome
immediately.
aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
ミッションアップデート。私を病院へ連れてって。病院でウィリアム・ビショップの血液を調査せよ。成功。失敗になったりすんのかなこれ。ビショップ倒さないっていう選択肢あったんかね。ないよね。私はスワンジー博士の救いの手を受け入れてペンブローク病院で働くことになった。選択肢はなかった。私の状態を知っている男。私が何になったかを知っている。ヴァンパイアは信じられない。私はこの裏ぶれた医療施設について何も知らない。ここにいる人たちは皆私はもう有名な外科医ジョナサン・リードではない気分にさせてくれるだろう。私は全員に嘘をつかなければならない。患者にもスタッフにも。これが私の新しい家。私を追ってくるすべてのものから隠れるもの。何がどうなっているかをより理解するまですべての人から隠れるための場所。病院に入れ。ここ LB と RB で何変えられるんでしょうね。これ何も変えられないんですけど、押してるけど。あ、ペンブローク病院に来ましたね。
It's okay, Jonathan. I'll see you later.
ドロシー喋れる？出ないですね。会話しないと出ないんですね、これ。よっしゃ。まともな服着せてもらった。なんだなんだ。あ、箱が2個ある。あそこに入りたい。喧嘩してる。おーい。
Rotten oppressy. Each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river. Dry it all.
何？あいつを殺せってこと？何やってんの？神様いたい。
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
もっと謙虚に君を出血したものにしておこう。RT は詳細を診察殺してやる。RB と RT どっちを押せばいいんだこれ。RT、健康ブラッドクオリティ RB 診察。押せない。診察。これだよね。もっと謙虚に。
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
ブラッドクオリティはその市民がどれだけのエクスペキュラで得られるか示しています。ブラッドクオリティ高いほどあなたが得る経験値も多くなります。はい。まだ低いね。催眠を押して詳細。催眠か診察か選べってことかね、これ、後々。獲物のブラッドを飲むには、メスメライズで、彼らを人目につかない場所に連れて行くことが必要です。あとはメスメライズレベルでは、市民の抵抗値と同じかそれ以上でなければなりません。こうもう押さないといけないの？催眠、はい、どう？
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
獲物を影に道、どうすんの？ああ、これでなんか移動できるみたい。これ食事しないといけないんじゃない？これもしかして。助けたいんですけど。血の誘惑 A を押してクレイコックスをエンブレイスするか B を押してリリースする。クレイコックスを包容すると大量の XP が手に入りますが、その結果には気をつけてください。市民についてよく知り、ヒンツを集めることは得られる経験値を持っています。解放します。もちろん。包容ってもチースってことでしょ、これ。解放。
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
喋れないですね、もう。あ、今喋れる。いや、まだいっぱいじゃないしね、そもそも。めっちゃあるやん、ヒント。会話できる？
What happened? Did I black out? Whoa, I feel giddy. Did I black out?
Bunny.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
誰だお前は一体。ハンドル部品。じゃあもうこいつもうできないんじゃない？もう包容。一回解放しちゃったら。そこの部屋どうやって入んのこれ。
I cannot enter.
あれ箱2個あった場所どこやったっけ？これか。ここ入りたいなぁ。
It's locked.
こ これも箱だったの？ほんと分かりづらいわ。あ、お金。名前がわからない。俺に言ってんの？後でじっくり探索できんのかな？待たされると困ってしまうんです。俺もせかされると困ってしまうんだよ。ゆっくり自分のペースでやらせてくれよ。ゴミ箱。向こう側に来れた。あ、いなくなってる。船もなくなってるわ。こっから入れそうやな。でも行けない。こっから別の場所行けそうじゃない？なんか無視して。ペンブロークホスピタル。入った方がいいかな、おとなしく。あ、誰か来た。誰だこいつ。
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
催眠かけれますね。診察って何やろう。これは相手の催眠体制が5ってことだよね。催眠かけられないってことだよね。健康。これ薬で治せるってこと？診察。グイネス。ロンドンでの生活について。今この状況は？
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
見えない敵？
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
病院は持ちこたえられないかも。
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
スタッフについて。
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
目を引く人。
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
新しいヒント。コーコランは疲弊しきってより休むことを拒否する。そういうことだったの。なるほどね。話して。
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
これ何もないんで、ちょっと診察してみようか。どうなんのこれ診察したら。
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
ヒントが必要。はい。
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
ちょっとお世辞にも翻訳の質がいいとは言えないですね、このゲームね。ちょっとなんか会話多そうなんで、会話芸でちょっとこの翻訳はちょっと厳しいですね。
I not want to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
ロンドンでの生活、ここの状況はどうですか？
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
人々の方がずっと大事です。これも同じですよね。なんて言った今。やべ。ちょっとあんま読めなかったわ。人々の方が大事にしてますか。
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
ちょっともう一回言って。
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to
あな
working
たは
in
も
a
っと
better
良い環境で。
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to
一
me.
回選んだらもう選び直しできないですね
Don't。be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people.
これなんか誤解なんかなこれ。もう中国語になってるんで読めないですね。スタッフについて聞かせて。
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
ポジティブな特性。
Tell me more about cherished people then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
フラナガンには看護師以上の能力があるとコーコランは確信している。フラナガン、こいつか。マネジメントについては
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office down again.
あなたは消耗してますね。
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls.
おい。
We are the last
何も
rampart
表示されないんですけど。
Once more unto the breach.
何これ。証明することなんてないのに。なんて言ったの今。看護師のプラナガンが心配してますよ。あなたの態度は無責任だ。プラナガンが心配してますよ。
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that.
あ、やべ。
I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
やべ。告げ口してもうた。診察できる？
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
どうやったら診察できるのこれ。ちょっと待って。はい。
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
このゲームのちょっとルールが分かんないんですけど、もしかしたらこのヒントを全部集めて治療しても経験値入るのかもしれませんね。だから殺したくない人はヒントを全部集めて診察して治療しろってことなんかな。多分催眠かけて人気のいないところに連れ込んで血吸えば簡単に経験値入るんでしょうね、多分ね。そうじゃなくて俺みたいに殺したくない人は全部のヒントを集めて診察まで持っていけってこと？そういうことなのかもしれない。
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
ティペッツがあなたを褒めてましたよ。
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
これが1個埋まりましたよね。だから3つ集めれば診察できるんじゃないの？ブラッドクオリティって書いてあるんで。それとも単純になんか病気を治すってことなのかもしれませんね。
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first.
ハンプトンさんの具合はスワンジー先生ってどんな人？私の部屋どこかな？ハンプトンの具合は
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
スワンジーってどんな人？
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
彼と会ったばかりなんだ。私が彼を知ってる以上に彼は私をよく知っている。これにしとく？
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
OK。2階で自分のオフィスを見つける。インフルエンザのため新規患者の受け入れはできません。病院は満室です。ご帰宅ください。お、誰かいる。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
やべえ、何言ってるかさっぱりわかんねえ。個人的な質問、品物を見せて。商人になったの？この辺りの状況どうだい？
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
衛生状況どうですか？乱暴に扱ったように聞こえるね。
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
え、見つけてくれなんて一言も言ってないんですけどね。なんかこいつのなんか財布を探さないといけないみたい。自由の密売？
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
こいつ吸っちゃったらもう商売してもらえなくなりそうなんで、こいつは生かしといた方がいいかもしれませんね。でも血吸ってももしかしたら死なないのかもしれないね。ちょっと一回ちょっと誰かちょっと悪そうなやつをちょっと吸ってみないといけないですね。個人的な質問、ヒントが必要。品物見せて。
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
まあ素材系ですかね。ミルトンのショットガンでこうユニーク武器なんじゃない？もしかしてミルトンしか持ってない。インサマンタボをやった後でやるとちょっときついね。このローカライズのレベルはね、全然頭入らないわ。あれが紙翻訳だったんで、インサマウンタボー。お、中が見える、ちゃんと。すげえ。ハーベイ。お、なんかある。これしらみつぶしに会話していかないといけなそうやね、このゲームね。会話が面白ければさ、それも面白いんでしょうけどね。ちょっと何言ってるか分かんないんでね、なんか眠たくなりそうやね、ちょっとね。何もない。外には何もいない。あ、なんかある。なんでこう赤く表示されないんだろうな、箱とか。
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
ここはなんか拠点みたいな感じ？このゲームの。こんな人とも喋れんの？こんな
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
あ、こいつすぐ食えるわ。
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
何かできることは手当てをしているのは誰ですか？誰が手当てしてるんだ？
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
何かできることは？
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
長く勤めたんですか？
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
まあね、前線の下っ端と安全な場所から指示だけ出してる人だけだったらね、同じ戦争を経験したりでも全然違いでしょうからね。ちょっと診察してみようか。
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
やっぱりこの虫眼鏡が全部埋まってないと診察できないみたいですね。
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn.
え？
The bag.
あ、この地元の調査っていうのはサブクエか。ペンブロークの救急車運転手のミルトン・フックスは彼が病院に連れてきた患者に攻撃されたと告白した。彼は施設の庭を通って逃げなければならなかったが、その間に財布を落としてしまった。ミルトンが二度と戻りたくないというほどなのだから、攻撃者は非常に暴力的に違いない。自分で庭に行き、何が起きたか調べるのが良さそうだ。病院の庭？あ、ショーン・ハンプトンだ。
It's locked, all right. Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
ウィリアム・ビショップの隠れ家に君がいたことについて、イーストエンドの港の状況はトム・ワッツについて。
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
君をさらったのはなぜ？君は英雄から去らなければバカだ。
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
こんなこと言っていいのこれ。
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
トム・ワッツについて、酒場の主人ですね、トム・ワッツ。
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
イーストエンドの状況。
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
今のギャングのリーダーは、ギャングは君を脅してるのか？
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
コックスってさっき助けたやつだよね。あいつがリーダーだったのもしかして。
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
What
do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
あなたは司祭ですか？なぜウィリアムに十字架を向けなかったんですか？
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
なんで吸血鬼って十字架嫌がるの？ここに来てからは友達は？
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
我々はただの肉体じゃないんですよって。ボディっつったっていろんな意味あるからね。死体っていう意味もあるしね。気分はどうですか？
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
はい。
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
ダメだ。会話が入ってこないわ。この人まだ全然やね。てかその前にさ、登場人物が出すぎて覚えられないかもしれない。
It's locked.
ただでさえカタカナの名前覚えられないんで、患者が増えてる。
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
しかもさ、この人さ、本名がさ、テルマ・ハウクロフトじゃないですか。人によってはさ、この人をテルマっていう人もいればさ、ハウクロフトっていう人もいるんで正確にフルネームで覚えないといけないんですよね。それがしんどくないね。テルマとハウクロフトは同一人物だって分からずに別人だと思ったりすることありますからね、他のゲームでもね。その二人同一人物だったのみたいな、別々の人の話してんのかと思ってたって。あなたヴァンパイアなんですか？あなたはこの患者ですか？
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
どんな気分か表現してください。コタード症候群という名前聞いたことありますか？
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cottage Syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
テルマはコタード症候群を患っており、自分がヴァンパイアであると思い込んでいる。なるほどね。あなたはここの患者ですか？
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
間違った標的、新しい調査。何それ？テルマを伺っているのは誰かを見つける。 テルマ・ハウクロフトは自身をすでに死んでいるか死からよみがえって朽ちていく体の中にとらわれていると思い込んでいる。妄想的なペンブローク病院の患者であると。彼女の新たな明らかな精神上の問題にもかかわらず、この女性はヴァンパイアである彼女を狩ろうとする数人の男たちに偵察されていると主張している。彼女はガード・オブ・プリーウェンのことを言っているのだろうか。私は彼らに病院の周りを調べさせておくリスクを冒すわけにはいかない。彼らを偵察し、これらのハンターからテルマ・ハウクロフトを守らなきゃならないと。はい。あなたの正体は？
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
Oh, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood boil with fever.
ちょっとオフィス行こうか、ちょっととりあえず。今こそ看護師が必要です。慈悲の名にかけて彼らはあなた次第。今こそ看護師が必要。最寄りの労働省と国務省の専任事務所にお問い合わせ、または右の浮きまでご連絡くださいと。ロンドン・キング・ウェイルズ。公共の場で咳をしないで。病気を予防しましょう。不注意な唾吐き、くしゃみ、咳はインフルエンザを拡散させます。喉と鼻からの小さな水滴によって拡散されます。公共の場で咳をするのやめましょう。広いの結構、この病院。
To disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
This hospital seems to be falling apart.
なんか言い争ってるね。
Circumstances, I'm willing
I will not let you down, my boy.
ちょっと待って。結構広いな、これ。ここ。誰だ？
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
あ、疲労だ、疲労。競争剤で回復する。喉はどんな風に痛みますか？
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
我々は意思疎通しないと少し休みましょう。
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
少し休みましょう。
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
How painful.
So painful.
あなたのことについて聞かせて。
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
診察してみよ
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
う。持ってんの薬。競争代ゼロになってるんですけど。持ってるんだったらじゃあ渡す。あ、選択できないよ。
I will see you later.
診察は薬渡すときだけなのかな、もしかして。
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
ベアトリスは病院の効率について疑問がある。到着時のことを聞かせてください。
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
あれ、彼女が請求したんですか？あなたの気持ちはよくわかります。
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
こいつか。ピッパ・ホーキンス。ピッパは支払いができる患者のためにベッドを開けている。ない。
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Let you down, my boy.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
医師たちがあなたの症例について言い争っていたんですが。
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
My sweet girl. Treats me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
ドロシーは喋った。ここにいた医者みたいなやついなかった、さっき。ちょろちょろ動き回るからな。
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
あなたのお仕事の大ファンなんて言い方する？君のこと聞かせてほしい。
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
なぜこの道を志したのか。
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
お役に立てれば光栄です。研究は消耗する。お世辞は無用だ。研究は消耗する。どういう意味なんだろう。ちょっともうよくわかんないんでこっちにしておきます。
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
ソローの輸血実験はまだ成功していない。
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
何か手伝うことは？
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research. Yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
サブクへ来たー。
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
君の輸血技術について。
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
中立を保たなければならない。フィディックさんの話を教えてください。
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
ハーベイは怪我について自分を責めている。中立を保たなければならない。
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
はい。
Do you need my medical attention, dear colleague?
You don't have to worry about me, Dr. Reed. I am here to assist you, not to be a burden.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
ちょっとオフィス行ってみますか、ちょっと会話ばっかりだと疲れるんでね。また後で会話しよう。これな、複数追跡できんのこれ。あ、じゃあ全部追跡しといた方がいいよね。あ、じゃあちょっと待って。ソロー・ストリックランド医師は進歩的な医学に魅了される若い大胆な医師だ。彼は現在独自の実験を行っているが、最近注文したいくつかの品物が届くのを待っているという。彼は近頃の物不足で、彼の取引業者が彼よりも高名な医師と取引することを選んだのではないかと疑っている。それが私の名声を利用して必要な物資を手に入れるよう、彼が私に頼んだ理由だ。あれ1個しか追跡できないのこれ。そうみたい、どうやら。で、どこにあるって言ってたっけ、オフィス。2階の 2階の宝ないね。走って行ってなかった。ここ開かないよね。トーマス、恐怖と嫌悪が街角のあちこちに。
It's locked, all right.
後にしてくれたまえ。スワンジーの部屋。ここではない。やべ、方向音痴にはちょっと厳しいな、この病院。お、武器だったのこれ。ノコギリ。やべ、なんか RT ボタンがちゃたってんのかなこれ。せっかく間違えて強化したのにね。でもスピードはこっちが速いからこっちの方がいいんですかね。骨を切断できる医療用のノコギリ。アタックスピード速い。スタミナは間違えてる方が消費しない。威力高いこっちが。強化も5までできる。これ間違えて使わない方がいいんじゃない？もう2までしか強化できないんで使うのやめようか。これこれとこれとこれにしとくか。エルウッドのカルテ、トーマス・エルウッド28歳、担当ティベツ医師。退院予定日は検討中。突起事故。患者の顔はなんか顔に傷を負ったって言ってましたね。戦争中の爆撃で重度の熱傷やけどを負い、損傷が激しいと。最も強い鎮静剤を用いても彼の言うところでは炎が皮膚の下で燃えているような傷からの痛みに常時耐えていると訴えている。なんとかの後を生じる組織の検査では炎症、感染または膨張の痕跡とは見られなかった。傷口は洗浄。これは精神的なダメージによって引き起こされるケースということはあり得るだろうか。患者は自身の既存について自分を責めることは決してやめない。これはサバイバーズギルトになるのだろうか。彼の戦友たちと共に死ななかった罪の表れとしての現実なのだろうか。あ、トーマスは戦争中に負った彼の損傷に負い目を感じている。いや、それはさっきのカルテに書いてあっただけなんじゃないの？トーマスが本当に負い目を感じてるかどうかわからないよね。カルテになんとかだろうかって書いてあっただけなのに、トーマスは負い目を感じているって勝手に決めつけてもうてるやん。ティペッツ医師の考えですよ、あれは。トーマスがそう言ってたんじゃなくて。ひどいなぁ。シャーロック・ホームズ並みのなんか強引な推理。ここの名札何になってる？名札見れるわ。ネームプレート。ティペッツ医師のオフィスだ。 アクロイド、ストリックランド石。
I cannot enter.
ここですかね、俺の。違うわ。あ、リードって俺か。ジョナサン・リード。ちょっと待って、その前にここ。箱がある。
It's locked, all right.
施錠されとる。ピッキングスキルとかなんかあったっけ、このゲーム。まあいいや、入ろう。オフィスを見
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
ウィリアム・ビショップの血をワークベンチで分析する。OK。また後で下の人と会話できるよね。いつでも。なんかいろいろあるよ。エコンの記事、科学的かつ合理的な目で彼らの最も興味をそそる肉体的そして心理的な特徴を観察することは稀な機会である。そして吸血鬼に近づくことは特権とさえ言える。この10年間私が個人的に観察し、その間数人のヴァンパイアあるいは彼ら自身がそう呼ばれることを好むエコンへのインタビューで判明したいくつかのこの上なく魅力的な能力がある。はい。いろいろあるってことね。ヴァンパイアには。はい。催眠術も使う。血の近く、壁通しできますからね。はい。エコンの記事。ガラス瓶。
The flower's dying. It needs water.
この枯れてる植物と自分をこうなんやろう重ねてんのかな。植物は水が必要、主人公は血が必要ってことなんかな。そこに出てるね、マーカー思いっきりね、デカデカと。ちょっといろいろあるんで、いや、なんかある。スワンジー博士のメッセージ。ジョナサン君。クレイン看護師に2階に君のためのオフィスを確保するようにお願いしておいたよ。質素な内装はご容赦いただきたい。だが、ペンブローク病院はザ・リッツではない。オフィスに案内できなくて申し訳ないが、私は仕事に戻る前に少し眠らなきゃならなくて、所詮私はちっぽけな人間だからね。それと君を休ませるようにスタッフは決して君の部屋に勝手に入らないようにという指示も出しておいた。君は日中誰にも邪魔されずに眠ることができるし、誰にも疑いを起こさずに夜に仕事ができる。ここは極めて広い状態で申し訳ないが、君自身のペースで君の実験を実施できるようになるだろう。足場のある開いたままの窓に気づくと思うが、そこを使えば誰にも気づかれずに病院に出入りができるよと。私は君にとっての全てがどれほど馴染みがなく煩わしいか私は君にとっての全てがどれほど馴染みがなく煩わしいかを想像するどういう意味これ。信じてほしい。私は君たちの種族を十分研究してきた。君がこれから直面するもの、食欲を満たすものを理解するためにね、安心してくれ。君のこの厳しい試練で手伝えることがあれば何でもする。君は完全に一人きりで立ち向かう必要がないことを知っておいてくれたまえ。 我々が現在向き合っているこんな暗黒の時代に君に会えて嬉しいよ。我々の未来の共同が素晴らしい結果を生むことを願っていると。ようこそペンブロークへ。私の尊敬する同僚さん。またすぐ話をしよう。エドガー・グリフィス・スワンジー。推進。この数年でエコンに関して私が発見したことに関するいくつかのノートの写しを置いておくよ。何か君の助けになることがあれば読んでくれたまえと。そこに書いてある知識を使って私を出し抜こうとしない限りはね。なんでちょっとあまりにもなんやろや親切すぎてちょっと怪しいんですけど、この人ちょっとスキル振る、これでまた経験値入るかもしれないからな。ワークベンチで研究しろはこれなんかやったらなんか次進みそうじゃない？なんかメインクエストちょっととりあえずこっちでちょっとパワーアップするか。あ、この辺がアンロックされましたね。今までロックされてたのに。ターゲットの血管内で血を阻害し敵を無防備にします。ブラッドバリア、見えないバリアを作り出し、それが消えるか破壊されるまで直接ダメージを吸収。クエンやん、ウィッチャーの。でも持続時間があるんで、クエンもあるけどあった方がいいんですかね、こういうの。これはアクシーか、これね。そうですね。この辺ぐらいからコスト上がるんで、まんべんなく上げていった方がいいのかな。とりあえずブラッドの最高値上げとこうかな。ブラッドのダメージも上げたいよね。あとライフ回復も今回復して一応してるはいるみたいですけど、ものすごいビビたる回復なんで、さっきみたいにボス戦だとこれだけだとね、ちょっと回復追いつかないんで、もっと回復した方がいいよね。どれをあげればいいのやら。これはでも絶対いるよね。でもね、さっきボス戦これなかったら絶対死んでましたもんね。コストでかいんですよね、これ。そうですね。これ2個取っとこうかな。じゃあ容量上げるやつ。これとこれ。次この辺取っていこうかな。噛みつき鍛えたいよね、やっぱり。ヘルスとかスタミナどうでもいいんで。次これを2個ずつ上げるように持っていこう。あ、科学が上げられるようになった。結成霊薬やん、これ。無理やりウィッチャーにしていくっていうね。間違いだ。 まあでもウィッチャーは多分意識してるでしょうね、多分ね。あんだけね、売れたゲームやからね。バネ、ターゲットのもとに超自然的な移動を使い、着地時にダメージを引き起こすか。シャドウベール、歩いてる時の1秒あたりのスタミナ消費。透明化すんのか、これ。ああ、こういうの持っといた方がいいかもね。500か。影やヴァンパイアが目を隠すのを助け、慣れていない者にとっては不可視な状態になります。その代わり、ヴァンパイアのスタミナは動くと消費されます。スタミナが空になると、彼らはまた見えるようになるでしょう。新人くん、いいことを教えてやろう。何か動くものを見たと思ったら撃つんだ。撃つ？何を撃つんです？いいから撃つんだよ。でもこれ取るんだったら、スタミナも一緒に上げとかないと、厳しいんじゃない？OK、とりあえずこれでいいでしょう。はい。次の夜。これなんか、大丈夫だよね。時間制限とかないよね、クエストに。何日以内とか、なんか、能力を上げると1日経ってるみたいなんで。OK、じゃあ、血の分析、じゃあ次回やってみたいと思います。